Hi boys and girls, this is Miss Christie. Tonight's homework is about finding multiples. So we've been working a lot on factors and today we started working on multiples. Remember, multiples are when you're skip counting by the number. So list the first 5 multiples of 4. So, oops. Okay, so 1 times 4 is 4. 2 times 4 is 8. 3 times 4 is 12. 4 times 4 is 16. Uh-oh. Wait, hang on. I need a new pencil. And 5 times 4 is 20. So those are the first 5 multiples of 4. Multiples. 1 times 4, 2 times 4, 3 times 4. You don't have to write that. I'm just trying to show you what it means. Okay. So now list the first 10 multiples of 2. So 1 times 2 is 2. 2 times 2 is 4. Whoops. 3 times 2 is 6. 4 times 2 is 8. 1 times 2 is 2. 2 times 2 is 4. 3 times 2 is 6. 4 times 2 is 8. 5 times 2 is 10. 6 times 2 is 12. 7 times 2 is 14. 8 times 2 is 16. And 9 times 2 is 18. And 10 times 2 is 20. There we go. Okay. List the first 10 multiples of 3. Okay, so we're going to write the first 10 multiples of 3. So 1 times 3 is 3. 2 times 3 is 6. 3 times 3 is 9. 4 times 3 is 12. 5 times 3 is 15. 6 times 3 is 18. 7 times 3 is 21. 8 times 3 is 24. 9 times 3 is 27, and 10 times 3 is 30. List the first 10 multiples of 5. Same thing. So I'm just going to skip count 5, 10, 15, 20, 25, 30, 35, 40, 45, 50. Okay. List the multiples of 3 that are also multiples of 5. Okay, so now we're going to look at these 2 rows. Here's the multiples of 3. Here's the multiples of 5. Which ones are the same? Well, I'm noticing 15 is the same. And I'm noticing 30 is the same. So 15 and 30. Is 28 a multiple of 7? Don't forget, you can use your multiplication charts to help you with this. So is 28 a multiple of 7? So if you look on your multiplication chart and you look at 7, you'll see that 28 is a multiple of 7. Four times 7 equals 28. Is 35 a multiple of 6? So if you look at the 6's on your multiplication chart, you'll see 30, because 6 times 5 is 30, and you'll see 36, because 6 times 6 is 36, but you're not going to see 35. So, no, 35 is not a multiple of 6. And for explain, you can say something like, 35 is not evenly divisible by 6. You could also say 5 times 6 is 30, and 6 times 6 is 36. And that 35 is between 30 and 36. So it's not a multiple. Okay, factors. List all the factors of 15. List the multiples through 15 of each factor. Okay, so this is a little bit tricky, so you may need some help with this. So factors of 15, so you're going to write the factors of 15. And what do I always tell you? What's the first two? 1 and 15, right? And then the other ones are 3 and 5. Because factors always come in pairs, right? Okay, so multiples of the factors of 15. Okay, so the multiples of 1, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15. Multiples of 15. 15. Because remember, we only have to go up to 15. 3, 3, 6, 9, 12, 15. 5, it's 5, whoops, 10, 15. Okay, so I'm just going to explain this one more time. So we're listing, first we listed the factors of 15, and I did it in factor pairs. Then we listed the multiples through 15. So through 15 means we included 15, but we didn't go any higher. So is 15 a multiple of each of its factors? Yes. We can see that 15. Explain. Is 15 a multiple of each of its factors? Yes, because to be a factor of 15, must be evenly divisible by the factor. I know that sounds kind of complicated and tricky, and we can talk about that tomorrow if it's confusing, because it is a little bit confusing, but 15 is going to be a multiple of each of its factors, because if you skip count by that number, you're going to eventually get to 15. And then here's these practice for the rule. Excuse me. So this one's a little bit tricky. So it counts 24 and then some number, and then 48 and then some number, and then 72 and then some number. So what is the difference between 24 and 48? And what is the difference between 48 and 72? So the difference between 24 and 48 is 24. But there's a number in between, so the rule isn't going to be plus 24, it's going to be half of that. Half of 24 is 12, so the rule is going to be plus 12. So 24 plus 12 is 36. 36 plus 12 is 48. 48 plus 12 is 60. 60 plus 12 is 72. And 72 plus 12 is 84. That one's a tricky one. So this one's a little bit easier because we have two numbers that are right next to each other. So 162 minus 108. I'm going to do that over here. So I need to borrow from the 6. 12 minus 8 is 4. 5 minus 0, 54. Plus 54. So our rule is going to be plus 54. But now to find this number right here, we have to figure out, we're going back 54, so we have to minus 54. So 108 minus 54 to find out where we start is 54. And then 162 plus 54, 162 plus 54 is 216. 216 plus 54 is 270. 270 plus 54 is 324. Okay, let's move on to the next one. 86, excuse me, 86. Oh, so now we're going backwards. So we're going down, so we know this is going to be a minus rule, right? Because we're going down. Okay, so this one is kind of like this top one, where we've got two numbers. So we're going to find the difference between 86 and 52, but then we're going to have to cut it in half to figure out what we're subtracting from 86. So first of all, we're going to find the difference between 86 and 52. So 6 minus 2 is 4, 8 minus 5 is 3, 34. Then we have to cut that in half. So 34, half of 34, 17. So the rule is going to be minus 17. So 86 minus 17, borrow from the 8. 16 minus 17 is 9. 7 minus 1 is 6. So that's going to be 69. 69 minus 17 is 52. So now let's subtract 17 from 52. $35. 35 minus 17 is 18. 18 minus 17 is 1. These are tricky, guys. Okay, so now with this one, just like this one, we have to find the difference between these two numbers and then cut it in half because it's a number in between. So 420, this is minus because we're going down, so this is going to be a minus rule. So I'm going to write it over here because I'm running out of room. So 425 minus 339. So 15 minus 9 is 6. 11 minus 3 is 8. And so that's 86. So we have to cut that in half. So 86 divided by 2 is 43. So it's going to be 425 minus 43. I really am running out of space here. That's okay, you can write it up the side. So 425 minus 43. $12 minus 4. Okay, so that's 382. 382 minus 43 is 339. 339 minus 43. 9 minus 3 is 6. 13 minus 4 is 9, so that's 296. And then the last one is 253 minus 43 is 210. And that's it. And have a great night. I will see you tomorrow.